accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Love fish but never make it at home? Wild Alaskan Company delivers high-quality, sustainably sourced wild-caught seafood right to your door. Choose from a variety of salmon and whitefishes. Each shipment contains perfectly portioned cuts of delicious seafood, so it's ready to prepare and easy to cook. Our seafood is always caught and processed in the USA, plus 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Get $15 off your first box at wildalaskancompany.com/talk. wildalaskancompany.com/talk for $15 off.
CuriosityStream has thousands of documentary films and shows available on demand on any device. We're the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, the Disney Plus for the scientist in us. There sure are a lot of streaming services, aren't there? CuriosityStream is the one you definitely need if you're the type to nature dock and chill, if you're an armchair astronaut, if you prefer physics to psychics, or perhaps you know a precocious paleontologist. Go to curiositystream.com to learn more and sign up today.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with Owning without even leaving my couch. I got a refi at a great low rate, and Owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 833-2-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 15-year fixed refi at 1.5% rate, 1.912% APR. That's right, 15-year fixed at 1.5% rate. 1.912% APR. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 833-2-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Subject to credit approval. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
You can crush it, too, with a 15-year fixed, 1.5%, 1.912% APR refi.
That's 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com.
CuriosityStream has thousands of documentary films and shows available on demand on any device. We're the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, the Disney Plus for the scientist in us. There sure are a lot of streaming services, aren't there? CuriosityStream is the one you definitely need if you're the type to nature dock and chill, if you're an armchair astronaut, if you prefer physics to psychics, or perhaps you know a precocious paleontologist. Go to curiositystream.com to learn more and sign up today.
I'm Tracy Clayton.
And I'm Josh Gwynn, and we're the hosts of Back Issue.
We're back with Season 2.
You can remember the name of our show, Back Issue, because we're back for Season 2.
And we have issues?
Not wrong. We're going to revisit moments in pop culture we all think we remember and learn what they can teach us about where we are now.
We're going to talk about Whitney Houston, food you used to love, your favorite and forgotten singers of the 90s and 2000s, and more.
So join Tracy and I with Back Issue Season 2. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
The news you need
when you need it.
Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Depend on us. I'm Chris Sedens.
And I'm Karen Adams. Coming up.
An LA area congresswoman says more incentives are needed to increase COVID vaccine rates in communities of color.
All state workers and health care employees in California must be vaccinated or submit to weekly testing.
These stories and more in the next 15 minutes right now. 5:45. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the fives. This update sponsored by Cars for Kids. Here again, Brian Douglas.
Oh, we still have delays. 57 southbound past Pathfinder. Injury crash here. We had several lanes blocked still due to this crash, and a tire came off, headed up in your two right lanes. South 57 off that 60 is going to be at a crawl. Looks like at times they're holding all lanes here to try to get everything over. You see it on your northbound side. Your slowing starts at Diamond Bar Boulevard for that 57 freeway. Still have this injury crash in Highland Park, South 110 before you get to Avenue 60, where we have the left lanes blocked. Right lane is the only thing that's open. The backup now starts before you, actually a little bit past Orange Grove. So as you pass Orange Grove, come around that bend, you're going to see those brake lights again for that 110 freeway. That signal alert for the 101 as you come up to Haskell eastbound. This is blocking the right side of the freeway. That is why your eastbound side really heavy now starting at DeSoto. Let's have a look at your drive on another slow drive. That's Santa Monica Freeway overhead Scott and the Southern California Toyota dealers. Sky 3.
It's starting to get a little better, but 10 eastbound is going to be sluggish out of Santa Monica. Expected around Sentinel on and oscillating through Mid-City as you work your way into downtown over toward the East Hill interchange. 10 westbound, expect a little slowing across the downtown floor, but gets a lot better once north across the 110, head out toward the 405.
60 eastbound before Central and Chino, still dealing with a crash here in lanes. And if you're using that 10, a little bit past Euclid, we've got an injury crash here, right lanes blocked. Did you know Cars for Kids is now accepting all kinds of real estate donations? Houses, lot, land, commercial, residential, or investment properties. You're going to receive a tax deduction for the full appraised value of your property, too. Go to carsforkidsrealestate.org to learn why donating is right for you. Next report, 5:55 in the Toyota Glendora.com 24-hour traffic center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The rain continues across Southern California on this Monday. As we head into later this afternoon, we are expecting temperatures to top out in the low 70s along the coast, upper 70s for LA Inland Orange County. The valleys, the Inland Empire will be in the 80s and 60s across the mountains with warmer temperatures as we head into tomorrow. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecast, I'm CBS 2's Olga Ospina for KNX 1070 News Radio.
Checking some temperatures right now, 79 degrees in Northridge, Ontario, 84. Currently mostly sunny. Yeah, the sun's peeking through. In downtown Los Angeles, we're at 73 degrees at 5:47.
LA's communities of color have been hit hard by the pandemic, yet have a relatively low vaccination rate. One congresswoman tells us she thinks more incentives are needed.
At a time when there is a growing shift toward mandatory vaccinations, at least making workers prove they are vaccinated or else expect lots more COVID testing, others argue incentives are still the way to go.
There are not enough incentives that have been done.
That's LA Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters talking with KNX In Depth.
And I think we need to keep incentives. In addition to that, I think we need to be masked. We need to do the social distancing. There needs to be some enforcement of some of this. And I do believe that it's all right before people can get into certain places that they have to prove that they've been vaccinated. It's all of that.
Now, there are those who argue that we are past the incentive stage when it comes to COVID vaccinations. Charles Feldman, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Today is the 31st anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA as it's known, which has provided major legal protections and government services to tens of millions of people across the nation. President Biden marked the occasion with a proclamation today that makes more resources available to disabled Americans who are also suffering from long-haul symptoms of COVID-19. The president said the new help reflects the same spirit as the original bill, the one that was signed more than 3 decades ago.
The ADA is more than a law. It's testament to our character as a people, our character as Americans. It's a triumph of American values.
The Biden administration also rolling out new guidelines today that could allow long-haul COVID problems to be treated as a disability under the ADA law, but any applications for that will be handled on a case-by-case basis.
An attorney for Britney Spears has filed a petition seeking to suspend and remove her father from her 13-year conservatorship.
It's something the singer has said she wants, previously accusing her father of conservatorship abuse. Former federal prosecutor Matthew Rosengart says he and his firm made the filing in less than 2 weeks.
We look forward to litigating the matter in court.
He did not answer when asked when he would file to end the conservatorship altogether, which Britney Spears has also said she wants. Rosengart did thank Britney for her courage and fortitude and her fans for their support.
She deserves it, and she appreciates it.
In a prior court hearing, he called on James Spears to resign as conservator of Britney's estate, but his lawyer said that was not going to happen, adding that he has only had his daughter's best interests in mind. An issue regarding funding for security for Britney's personal conservator in the wake of increased threats against the conservator was continued. The next court hearing is set for September. In downtown LA, Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
5:50 on KNX. Time for a check of your money. Here's Tracy Jonke.
Tesla has never made more money. It's reporting $1 billion profit after the bell for a spring quarter that saw the electric car company double its vehicle production. Tesla has now been in the black 2 years straight. For the past 4 years, General Motors has been working on driver assist and self-driving technology under the Cruise brand name, and it's seeing red now that Ford is calling its own driver assist tech Blue Cruise. GM is suing Ford for trademark violations violations. Ford says the lawsuit is frivolous and that its system is an extension of cruise control, which every automaker offers and every driver understands. Wall Street was seeing a little red at first, but pushed past the early losses with the aid of companies including Tesla. The result? New highs all around. The Dow up 83 points, the Nasdaq up 4, the S&P up 11 points. We check your money at 20 and 50 after each hour. I'm Bloomberg's Tracy Jonke from the True Mortgage Money Desk, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The U.S. is ending its combat mission in Iraq. Details 2 minutes away. It's 5:51.
In Southern California, anything can happen on any given day.
We have an update now on the breaking news we've been following, which means you need to listen to KNX every day.
Here's the latest from Irwindale. First, fast, accurate. Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station.
KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us every day.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great. But I crushed my mortgage payment with owning without even leaving my couch. I got a refi at a great low rate, and owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy. No muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 833-2-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 15-year fixed refi at 1.5% rate, 1.912% APR. That's right, 15-year fixed at 1.5% rate. 1.912% APR. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 833-2-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Subject to credit approval. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
You can crush it, too, with a 15-year fixed, 1.5%, 1.912% APR refi.
That's 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com.
CuriosityStream has thousands of documentary films and shows available on demand on any device. We're the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, the Disney Plus for the scientist in us. There sure are a lot of streaming services, aren't there? CuriosityStream is the one you definitely need if you're the type to nature dock and chill, if you're an armchair astronaut, if you prefer physics to psychics, or perhaps you know a precocious paleontologist. Go to curiositystream.com to learn more and sign up today.
Capitol will hold its first session tomorrow. Burbank Congressman Adam Schiff is a member of the committee, and in an interview with CNN, he said he will listen to recommendations from Republican committee members Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney.
Look, this should not be a partisan endeavor, and I think the 9 members that we have so far are all determined to get to the truth, not to make this a partisan thing. And the proof will be in the product. If the hearings that we put on are good and thorough and objective, if the report that we develop and the evidence we find is objective and the recommendations are sound, we'll be judged on that.
Tomorrow's hearing will feature new video footage from Capitol police officers showing what they were confronted with on the day of the attack. California now has a vaccination requirement for state employees and healthcare workers. We'll have more at 6:03 after CBS News. It's 5:55.
It's your Monday drive home. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5. This update is sponsored by iAccident Lawyers. Here again, Brian Douglas.
So one of our tougher drives, the 5, Santa Ana Freeway out of the East LA interchange. We had a crash southbound side just out of the East LA interchange, right around Lorena, right before you get to Indiana. That should be to the right shoulder, if not cleared already, but it did slow your already tough drive, which stays slow down towards that 605. Let's go back to this 57. Still working this crash southbound side just past Pathfinder. Left lane was affected, so were the 2 right. That's why you're slow now as you come off the 60 freeway, so expect some delays there. Let's have a look at your drive now on the 405 between Culver City and the San Fernando Valley with Scott in the Southern California Toyota dealers, Sky 3.
Really not too bad. Northbound 405 through West LA, heading into the Sepulveda Pass. It's going to get pretty tough, though, on the downhill side, starting around Skirball, Mulholland, as you work your way to and through the San Fernando Valley. Southbound, good shape, but it does slow up around the 10 through Culver City.
Still working at Crash Highland Park, 110 southbound before you get to Avenue 60. Only the right lane getting by. A good mile back up there. Hurt in a car accident, dealing with the insurance company directly? Don't give them all the control and power. Put some heavy weights in your corner and contact iaccidentlawyer.com. Next report, 6:05. With more reports more often in the ToyotaGlendora.com 24-hour traffic center. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Mostly cloudy skies. We are seeing the sun peeking through in some areas as we get late into the day. There is still a chance of some showers in the overnight hours tonight. Overnight lows in the 60s. And then tomorrow, clouds to start your day, clearing to sunshine by the afternoon. Temperature-wise, much the same tomorrow as we're seeing today. The flash flood watch is still in effect until 8 p.m. tonight, especially in the recent burn areas, in and below the burn areas. Right now, clouds 75 in Long Beach. We've got 78 in Van Nuys. Mostly sunny, 73 downtown L.A.
Governor Newsom wants local governments to follow the state's lead on a vaccine requirement. More at the top of the hour after CBS News. It's 5:57.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with owning without even leaving my couch. I got a refi at a great low rate, and owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 833-2-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 15-year fixed refi at 1.5% rate, 1.912% APR. That's right, 15-year fixed at 1.5% rate, 1.912% APR. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 833-2-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Subject to credit approval. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
You can crush it, too, with a 15-year fixed, 1.5%, 1.912% APR refi.
That's 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com.
Have you recently had significant damages resulting from rain, wind, fire damage, or even a pipe burst in your home or place of business? How about vandalism? Is your property insurance company refusing to pay you a fair compensation to repair these damages? Let the attorneys at Abir, Cohen, Trezon, and Salo put a stop to insurance company abuse. Axe Law will take immediate action for you. Call them now at 833-AXE-LAW for a free consultation. That's 833-AXE-LAW. 833-228-7529.
Music trivia. Believe it or not, in 2012, one artist premiered their song From Mars. The first song to debut, quite literally, on another planet. Who could it have possibly been from?
Let's reach for the stars. Reach for the stars.
Of course, will.i.am. He's seen success as not only a member of the Black Eyed Peas, but also as a solo artist and a producer for various artists. He also has a few more nerdy ventures.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today with 1877 Cars for Kids. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
When you need to know now.
The time to listen is now.
KNX KRTH FM HD2 Los Angeles.
KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
An Odyssey station.
Coming up, it's our top local story. All state workers and healthcare workers in California must be vaccinated or submit to weekly testing.
Governor Newsom wants county and city leaders to follow its lead.
These stories, plus your traffic and weather together. Every 10 minutes on the 5s, it all follows CBS News at the top of the hour. It's 6 o'clock.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. As COVID cases surge nationwide, some communities are reimposing restrictions. California says in August it'll start requiring state workers to show proof of vaccination or get tested weekly. David Begnaud is in Mississippi, which has the lowest vaccination rate in the country.
As the Delta variant of the coronavirus continues to spread, the city and county of St. Louis has become the latest community to reinstate an indoor mask mandate.
Wear a mask to protect those around you and to stop the spread.
New projections show that COVID-19 cases will likely continue to rise nationwide over the next few months. Daily deaths could more than triple from their current levels, rising to about 850 a day.
Some people who've chosen not to get a COVID vaccine say it's because they've only received emergency authorization from the FDA. CBS medical contributor Dr. David Agus.
It really is an arbitrary line in the sand because the data are public and the data are out there, and nothing will change between today and between when there is a full approval.
California's largest wildfire is still growing, destroying homes and forcing more evacuations. The Dixie Fire has doubled in size and is one of 86 blazes burning out west. CBS's Carter Evans with more.
In Oregon, the largest fire in the country, the Bootleg Fire, has burned more than 400,000 acres, an area larger than the size of Los Angeles. And the Tamarack Fire, which is now spread to Nevada, isn't expected to be contained until the end of next month.
At the Tokyo Olympics in the next hour, U.S. swimmers hope to rule the pool and win more hardware. CBS's Steve Futterman is there.
There are 4 swimming finals at the Aquatic Center today, and Americans have a chance to win medals in each of them. First up, the men's 200-meter freestyle. Kieran Smith of the U.S., the lone American in the race, had the second-best qualifying time. After that, the women's 100-meter backstroke. Reagan Smith of the U.S. is the favorite. In the semifinals, she set an Olympic record. Also today, finals in the men's 100-meter backstroke and the women's 100-meter breaststroke. Steve Futterman, CBS News at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo.
A century-old siren that blares every night in Minden, Nevada, is sparking debate over how to confront the region's history of racism and violence. State lawmakers banned it, but the Washoe Tribe chairman and Minden town manager agreed to move it to 5 p.m. Many tribal members are not satisfied. The Washoe Tribe associates the siren with an ordinance that once made it illegal for them to be in public after nightfall. Residents of the mostly white town defend it as tradition that marks time and honors first responders. The Dow closed up 83 points, NASDAQ up 4 points. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News Radio. Good evening. I'm Chris Sedens.
And I'm Karen Adams. Our top local story at 6:03. The governor announced today all state employees and healthcare workers will have to show proof they've been vaccinated or else undergo weekly testing for the coronavirus. This as we go through yet another surge in cases. We have in-depth team coverage.
It's not actually a mandate, but it pretty much blows out the honor system. The affected employees will either have to provide proof of their vaccinations or they will be tested at least once a week to make sure they don't have the coronavirus. Governor Newsom says too many people have chosen to just live with the virus.
We're at a point in this epidemic, this pandemic, where individuals' choice not to get vaccinated is now impacting the rest of us.
He also ripped into pundits for spewing misinformation about the vaccine.
We're exhausted by the politicalization of this pandemic, and that includes mask wearing that has been equated to the Holocaust. It's disgraceful. It's unconscionable.
The numbers of new COVID cases and hospitalizations have been rising rapidly, mostly among the unvaccinated. John Baird, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The governor says the state's leading by example, and he's asking local governments to follow suit.
I actually think it's very prudent.
Hilda Solis is the chair of the LA County Board of Supervisors.
And I'm glad that he's taking this step.
She says the board should take a look at the possibility of requiring vaccination or regular testing for county workers and discuss it with employee unions.
I think there are discussions that have been going on, informal, but I would say that these discussions have been happening between our executive officers, our department heads, and they're getting feedback from employees.
Is it time to get into formal talks?
Oh, yeah, I believe so. If we continue to see the trending go in the wrong direction, absolutely.
The numbers in LA County are quickly going up. Cases are multiplying. Hospitalizations have nearly quadrupled since June 15th, when the economy fully reopened. Public health officials say unvaccinated people account for the vast majority of cases and hospitalizations. Asked whether the city of LA might follow the state's example, a spokesman for Mayor Eric Garcetti says in a statement he's working urgently with city stakeholders toward policy changes to increase the employee vaccination rate, and more details are coming very soon. Claudia Pescuta, KNX 1070 News Radio.
What health experts think about the governor's move on the COVID vaccine requirement. Our in-depth team coverage continues after traffic at 6:05.
It's your Monday evening drive now. Your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5s. Here again, Brian Douglas.
And that evening drive on the 110 is not looking so great. We're talking the Arroyo Seco. Southbound side at Avenue 60, still working an injury crash affecting the two left lanes with only that right lane getting by. The backup now starts just past Orange Grove. Things are going to be a little tough for you. If you want to use Mission, maybe make your way to York and then to Figueroa as an alternate. That might be a little bit of a time saver for you. Now let's have a look at the 101. We'll have a look at our Ventura Freeway. Overhead, Scott, the Southern California Toyota dealers, Sky 3.
Well, that sig alert's canceled heading into Sherman Oaks here. 101 eastbound right around Haskell and the 405. That's where we had a couple right lanes. A right lane blocked. Looks like the wreck completely off the freeway at this point. And through Encino didn't look too bad, but expect a little residual slowing as you go through Woodland Hills. As far as the 405 goes, northbound, heavy right at the top of the hill. Skirball, Mulholland. That's going to be on and off slow through the valley. And looks like it slows again. Pretty tough, actually. North of the 118 heading up toward the 5.
We had two issues for two eastbound commutes. 60 at Central eastbound. That crash has cleared. Still a little slow at Diamond Bar. And had a problem on the 10 just past Euclid on the eastbound side. That has cleared. You're still going to be slow now out of basically the Pomona area. Our next report's at 6:15. With more reports more often in the ToyotaGlendora.com 24-hour traffic center. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Mostly cloudy skies tonight. Overnight lows in the 60s. Should point out there is still the chance of some showers this evening. We'll have clouds tomorrow morning to start your day. Clearing, though, to sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures are below average for this time of year. Tomorrow likely to be, again, 70s, 80s, possibly getting into the lower 90s in some of the valley hotspots. We do have that flash flood watch in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. Areas most at risk in and below recent burn areas. So the shift in the weather coming likely Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where it's going to warm up significantly. Santa Ana right now, we get some cloud cover, 75 degrees. It's 78, mostly sunny in Van Nuys. Mostly sunny, 73 downtown Los Angeles at 6:07.
Back to our in-depth team coverage. California will require state employees and all healthcare workers to show proof of COVID vaccination or get tested weekly. And a prominent local doctor says it's about time.
The government cannot force private citizens to get vaccinated, but USC medical professor Dr. David Agus says if you choose to work in certain industries like healthcare, you need to step up.
Healthcare workers have made a choice to help other individuals and to not cause harm. And so as part of that choice, we have to accept vaccination.
He says the long-awaited full FDA approval of the COVID vaccines is coming soon, which should spur millions more to get jabbed.
It is critical that that approval comes through. My hope and prayers are that happens in the next month. Now, I think many others are pushing the FDA in that regard.
Dr. Agus says private businesses would be well within their right to deny service to the unvaccinated, saying it's a matter of public safety. Brian Payne, KNX 1070 News Radio.
COVID-19 hospitalization numbers continued at an alarming upward climb in Los Angeles County today, with state figures showing more than 800 people now being treated for the virus, more than double the number from just 2 weeks ago. There were 182 people in intensive care, up from 161 yesterday. The county also reported 1,966 COVID cases today.
A study led by UCLA says the expiration of state eviction moratoriums was associated with an increase in COVID cases and deaths.
One of the study's authors notes that a person who gets evicted often has few options of where to go, so they may move in with family or friends or go to a shelter.
It could also be the case that under the threat of eviction, I might take on work that increases my exposure to COVID.
That's Catherine Leifheit, a postdoctoral scholar in epidemiology at UCLA Fielding School of Public Health. Amid this most recent spike in COVID cases, she tells KNX,
we need to double down on public health measures and use everything in our toolkit. And our study shows that eviction moratoriums, or really any measure to prevent against eviction, should be part of that.
She says they found that the expiration of state eviction moratoriums last summer was associated with over 430,000 more COVID cases and 10,000 more deaths. Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
You may see some smoke rising from the sewers in parts of Alhambra tomorrow.
The city is testing the sewer system, looking for leaks, and they're going to be using smoke. Contractors will start in the Hellman neighborhood, then move south to Sarson Drive over the next few weeks.
The stormwater system and other areas where the stormwater drains from can infiltrate into the sewer system. It's not the end of the world, except that when you have big events, the rainfall can overwhelm the sewer system.
Jeffrey Maloney is Alhambra's vice mayor.
Could see smoke coming out of manholes but they expect, because they're breaking it up into smaller sections, that they don't anticipate, major impacts to any of the neighborhoods.
More than 800 homes are in the testing area. Each one will be given a posted notice 2 to 3 days before the smoke test. Maloney tells KNX the smoke is non-toxic and should not get in people's homes unless their plumbing has issues. Emily Valdez, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Updating a crash that's affecting the drive on the 110 in Highland Park and more at 6:15. Traffic coming up in less than 4 minutes at 6:11.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with Owning without even leaving my couch. I got a refi at a great low rate, and Owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 833-2-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 15-year fixed refi at 1.5% rate, 1.912% APR. That's right, 15-year fixed at 1.5% rate, 1.912% APR. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 833-2-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Subject to credit approval. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
You can crush it, too, with a 15-year fixed, 1.5%, 1.912% APR refi.
That's 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com.
All right, let's clear this garage. Start a pile here for donations, one over here for recycling, and one more over here for trash. Hang on, what are you doing?
Recycling?
We may need that paint one day, and that can't be recycled.
First, this can looks older than me. And second, paintcare.org says you can.
Paintcare.org. Let me see. Oh, and there's a drop-off site close by. And it's free? Nice.
Dad, no.
Would be covered with potato chips, and we wouldn't crack one.
Really? Are your windows affordable?
You will be surprised at how affordable they are, because they are designed, manufactured, and installed all by the same people. No one else in Southern California can say that.
And I hear you're offering a special deal for our listeners. Pick up your phone right now. Aaron will give you 20% off your entire order and 1 year of interest-free financing.
But you have to call right now.
You don't want to miss out on this great offer. Call California Deluxe Windows right now. The number is 800-843-1400. That's 800-843-1400, 800-843-1400. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
Hey, we're the hosts of Pod Save America. Every week we break down the political news that makes us laugh, cry, and scream into the void with a conversation that's entertaining, informative, and hopefully useful.
We try to be serious without taking ourselves too seriously because we all have to stay in the fight. Democracy is under attack, and there's a whole right-wing machine that's counting on the rest of us to give up and check out, and we can't let them win.
So join us. New episodes of Pod Save America drop Mondays and Thursdays. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Love fish but never make it at home? Wild Alaskan Company delivers high-quality, sustainably sourced wild-caught seafood right to your door. Choose from a variety of salmon and whitefishes. Each shipment contains perfectly portioned cuts of delicious seafood, so it's ready to prepare and easy to cook. Our seafood is always caught and processed in the USA, plus 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Get $15 off your first box at wildalaskancompany.com/talk. wildalaskancompany.com/talk for $15 off.
CuriosityStream has thousands of documentary films and shows available on demand on any device. We're the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, the Disney Plus for the scientist in us. There sure are a lot of streaming services, aren't there? CuriosityStream is the one you definitely need if you're the type to nature dock and chill, if you're an armchair astronaut, if you prefer physics to psychics, or perhaps you know a precocious paleontologist. Go to curiositystream.com to learn more and sign up today.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour live and local news and traffic station. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Depend on us. Good evening, I'm Chris Sedens.
And I'm Karen Adams. Coming up,
The Biden administration now issuing a COVID vaccine mandate for healthcare workers at the VA.
California will require state employees and all healthcare workers to show proof of COVID vaccination or get tested weekly.
These stories and more in the next 15 minutes. Right now, 6:15 to the freeways again. Your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the fives. Here's Brian Douglas.
In Highland Park, 110 South before Avenue 60. This is where we were dealing with an injury crash affected the left side of the roadway. That's why you're backed up from Orange Grove on that southbound side. I noticed the surface streets in the area, like York in Avenue 60. And even Figueroa starting to get a little heavy. But I still think if you know the surface streets, you want to use any of them as an alternate, I still think you will save some time there. Now let's go to the 60. 60's been quiet all afternoon till now. We've got a right lane blocked, a crash eastbound before Hacienda Boulevard, a little slow back to 7th Avenue. Really not that bad. Stick with the freeway at this point. If you are westbound now, just past 7th Avenue, we've got some metal debris in the middle lane. CHP knows about it. Might be running a break now or getting ready to get that out of your way. Still one of our tougher drives is 5 out of the Eastdale Interchange. Tough as you make your way down through Commerce, so expect some delays. Santa Monica Freeway, eastbound's going to load up right at Robertson, reduce speeds into downtown. Your 405 looks great northbound, west side of town. Actually looks fantastic till you get to about the top of the hill. Your southbound side from the 10, we're going to be slow down to the Marina Freeway. And listen, if you're on the 405 through the South Bay, you're okay. A couple of pinches of slowing here and there. It's really slow, though, from the 110 as you make your way down towards Santa Fe, and that right there is just a lot of volume. Our next report's on the way at 6:25 with more reports more often in the Toyota of Glendora.com 24-hour traffic center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
It's been a day of showers across our region as well as mild summer temperatures. As we head to tomorrow, though, we are going to start warming things up. Mid-70s expected at our beaches. 80s for LA Inland Orange County. The valleys, the Inland Empire, and the High Desert will be in the 90s and the mountains in the 70s. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecast, I'm CBS 2's Olga Ospina for KNX 1070 News Radio.
Separ Solaris temps right now include 81 degrees in Chino. We've got 78, mostly sunny. Van Nuys, currently 74 downtown Los Angeles at 617.
As it backs a call for all healthcare workers to receive COVID vaccines as a job requirement, the Biden administration is making that a reality at the Department of Veterans Affairs.
It's the first time a federal agency has issued a vaccine mandate. To protect patients, healthcare workers at the Department of Veterans Affairs will have 8 weeks to be fully vaccinated. Before the announcement, I asked the White House press secretary why the government isn't issuing a vaccine mandate to all its employees.
It is certainly prudent for the federal government to be looking at any steps, just like any employer is.
But Jen Psaki gave no indication a mandate is coming for the